Hello and welcome to the Superhero Hub. I'm Sam,
I'm Matt.
and today we are.
We're opening the superhero files.
Yeah, and what page have we landed on?
Batgirl, Barbara Gordon.
Yeah, so apparently Barbara Gordon's the only Batgirl anyone actually cares about, so in terms of Cassandra Cain, Betty Kane, or Bet Kane, and Stephanie Brown and Helena Bertinelli are pointless. So yeah, you know how it is. We're giving you all the facts. So Barbara Gordon is a fictional superhero appearing in American comic books published by DC Comics, commonly in association with the superhero Batman. So yeah, she first appeared as Batgirl in Detective Comics issue 359 in January 1967, and subsequently as Oracle in Suicide Squad issue 23 in January 1989. So you had the big thing that you wanted to include Oracle as well, instead of just keeping it strictly to Batgirl. So she was created by William Dossier, Julius Schwartz and Carmine Infantino.
Yeah, well, she was created for the show, and then it's got adapted into the comics, I think.
Yeah, so Barbara Gordon is written as the daughter of Gotham City Police Commissioner James Gordon, and is initially employed as the head of the Gotham City Public Library. Although the character appeared in numerous DC Comics publications, she was prominently featured in the Batman family, which debuted in 1975, partnered with the original Robin, Dick Grayson. In 1988, following the editorial retirement of the character Batgirl persona in Batgirl Special Issue 1, the graphic novel Batgirl The Killing Joke depicts the Joker. That was your part to cut in.
He shot her. She got crippled. Everyone knows this.
Through the spinal cord, leading to her becoming a paraplegic, wheelchair bound. In subsequent stories, the character was re-established as a computer expert and information broker known as
Oracle,
providing intelligence and computer hacking services to assist other superheroes. She makes her first appearance as Oracle in Suicide Squad issue 23, and later became a featured lead of the Birds of Prey series, along with the other Batgirl prior or afterwards, Helena Bertinelli, who you'll know as Huntress. Yeah. The character was a popular comic book figure during the Silver Age of comic books due to her appearances in the Batman television series and continued media exposure. She achieved similar popularity in the modern age of comic books under the Birds of Prey publication and as a disabled icon. So yeah, prior to the introduction of Barbara Gordon, the Batwoman character and her sidekick Batgirl appeared in Batman-related publications, but were eventually removed at the direction of editor Julian Schwartz for being outdated and unrealistic. Schwartz stated that he had been asked to develop a new female character in accordance to bring in more female viewership to the Batman television series of the 1960s. Executive producer William Dossier suggested that a new character would be the daughter of Gotham City's police commissioner James Gordon, and she would adopt the identity of Batgirl. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I think it makes sense. But I mean, they had Supergirl already. I think she was created at some point in the 50s, and the show needed some sort of injection because basically viewership began to die after the first season. And I think it worked for a while, and then eventually that went away as well. But it made sense as a thing to do.
Yeah. In her civilian identity, Barbara Gordon, PhD, is depicted as a career woman with a doctorate in library services, whatever that means. Oh, doctorate in library science, whatever that means, as well as being the head of the Gotham City Public Library, presumably one of the largest public libraries in the DC universe. She was given a regular backup slot in Detective Comics, starting with issue 384 in February 1969, alternating issues with Robin until issue 404, after which she had the backup slot to herself. Frank Robbins wrote nearly all these backups, which were penciled by Gil Kane and later Don Heck. Barbara Gordon's Batgirl exceeded the earlier Batgirl and Batwoman characters in popularity, and readers they wanted more. They requested that Batgirl would also continue to appear in the publication. DC responded to the fan base acclaim and criticism of the new character in an open letter in DC Comics issue 417 in 1971. Who cares about that? Batgirl continued to appear in DC Comics publications throughout the late 1960s and 70s as a supporting character in Detective Comics, in addition to guest appearances in various titles such as Justice League America, World's Finest Comics, The Brave and the Bold, Action Comics, and Superman. In the mid-1970s, Batgirl reveals her secret identity to her father, who had already discovered it on his own, which I'd expect being a police detective, and serves as a member of the United States House of Representatives. She moves to Washington, D.C., intending to give up her career as Batgirl, and in June 1972 appeared in the story entitled Batgirl's Last Case. Julian Schwartz brought her back a year later in Superman issue 268, in which she has a blind date with Clark Kent, establishing their friendship and fights alongside Superman. Batgirl and Superman team up twice more in Batman issue 279 and at DC Comics Presents issue 19. Batgirl also guest starred in other Superman related titles such as the Adventure Comics and in Superman Family 1971, where she teams up with, you guessed it, Supergirl. The character is given a starring role in DC's Batman Family comic book, which debuted in 1975. The original Robin, Dick Grayson, became her partner in the series, and the two were frequently referred to as the Dynamite Duo, Batgirl and Robin. Batgirl meets Batwoman in Batgirl Family issue 10. You don't like that, no? It is a pretty terrible name. Batgirl meets Batwoman in Batman Family issue 10, where the retired superhero briefly returns to crime fighting before Kane is murdered by your favourite character, Bronze Tiger. The two fight, kill him off, and Cavalier and learn each other's secret identities. Batwoman retires once again in the conclusion of the story, leaving Batgirl to continue crime fighting. Although this series ended after 3 years of publication, Batgirl continued to appear in backup stories published in Detective Comics through issue 519 in October 1982. Crisis on Infinite Earths, a limited mini-series published in 1985, was written in order to reduce the complex history of the DC Comics to a single continuity. Although Batgirl is a featured character, her role is relatively small. She delivers Supergirl's eulogy in issue 7 of the 12-part series. The conclusion of Crisis on Infinite Earths changed DC's universe continuity in many ways. Following the reboot, Barbara Gordon is born to Roger and Thelma Gordon, and she's Jim Gordon's niece / adopted daughter.
I think making Barbara his niece or adopted daughter, whatever, just slightly overcomplicates issues a little. I just think it's unnecessary.
Well, I'm going to drop something right here and right now. Is the strain of her being a vigilante superhero easier for him to bear, knowing it's merely his niece and not his own flesh and blood?
No, because she's his adopted daughter and they kind of smooth over that anyway. So I just think it makes more sense. Have her be the superhero, have his kid be the nutty kind of villain. It's easier, go with that.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, in Secret Origins issue 20, Batgirl and the Golden Age Dr. Midnight in 1987, Barbara Gordon's origin is rebooted by author Barbara Randall. Within the storyline, Gordon recounts a series of events that led to her career as Batgirl, including her first appearance as the Batman as a child, studying martial arts under the tutelage of a sensei, memorizing maps and blueprints of the city, excelling in academics in order to skip grades, and pushing herself to become a star athlete. And that brings us to the Batgirl special and Batman the Killing Joke in 1988. If you'd
That
like to.
didn't make me feel better. I can't like the idea of this being like a librarian who goes out and kicks butt. I suppose that wouldn't make for an interesting book, though, is it? So the Killing Joke, finally.
Yeah, so DC officially retired the hero again in the one-shot comic Batgirl special in July 1988. Later that year, you guessed it, Batgirl. Well, technically, yeah, Batgirl's retired, so forget about Batgirl. But Barbara Gordon still exists. Barbara Gordon appeared in Alan Moore, Northampton represent, in Batman the Killing Joke. In this graphic novel, the Joker shoots and paralyzes Barbara in an attempt to drive her father insane, therefore proving to Batman that anyone could become in his state of mind if they have one bad day. Although the events of the Killing Joke exert a greater impact on the character, the story has little to do with her. She is employed as a plot device to cement the Joker's vendetta against Commissioner Gordon and Batman into... that's irrelevant.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great story, but that is true. I mean, that's kind of why when they made that animated movie not long ago, they tacked on that half hour at the beginning, which was terrible. It's because, as much as it's a great Batman story, it's not really about her at all. But they did find a way to take what happened and I guess make her arguably more important to. I think it is arguable. I think she was more important as Oracle than she was as Batgirl. As we've gone through the Batgirl story there, you've covered 20 years, and really, look, how many times did she retire? And how many times do you mention she was a backup story rather than her own book? So she was always a supporting character as Batgirl. It just makes more sense to have her be a supporting character who's actually of use and fits more in line with her being a librarian, scientist, or whatever the hell that means anyway.
Well, if you put her in the position of the Birds of Prey, she's a main character there. It just depicts anyone going up with Batman's always going to be a supporting character.
Yeah, but Birds of Prey with Oracle.
Whatever. So yeah, Suicide Squad, Birds of Prey, and other appearances in between 1989 to 2011. So yeah, she's been shot in the spine, paralysed. Where does she go from now? So yeah, Gordon's new persona as Oracle the character made her first comic book appearance as Oracle in Suicide Squad issue 23, which I mentioned 3 times now, anonymously offering her services to the government's Task Force X. Does that mean she's going to pop up in the Suicide Squad film?
No.
Oh, okay.
You've seen the Suicide Squad film.
Oh. Yeah, she'd have to get paralysed. In the following 2 years, Oracle, under the pen of Ostrander and Yale, made guest appearances in various DC titles until her identity was revealed to be Barbara Gordon in Suicide Squad issue 38 in 1990, a full 2 years after. She officially becomes a member of the Suicide Squad in issue 48 following an invitation by
Amanda Waller.
Very good. In 1992, Dennis O'Neil wrote Oracle as Batman's sole source of information in Batman Sword of Azrael, issue number 1. His newly forged partnership established Oracle's status as Batman's intellectual equal. She subsequently featured in the 12-issue miniseries The Hacker Files in 1993, in Oracle Year 1, a story arc contained in Batman Chronicles issue 5 in 1996. Yale and Ostrander told the origin of Barbara Gordon's new persona as Oracle. Initially, Gordon's paralysis plunges her into a state of reactive depression. However, she soon realizes that her aptitude and training in information sciences have provided her with tremendous skills that could be deployed to fight crime.
Yeah, so I mean, there you go. There's an argument to be made. You'll get to it in a second. She does obviously return as Batgirl. There's an argument to be made that Oracle was a far more effective version of the character. But then again, if no one is as popular as her as Batgirl, should you just back to her being Batgirl? You probably should. I think it's pretty similar to Venom. Although Flash was kind of popular, really, everyone's been banging on about wanting Eddie Brock for years. So eventually, you just got to cut your losses and go back to it.
That much is true. In a world increasingly centered on technology and information, she possesses a genius-level intellect, much like myself. Photographic memory, I don't have that. Deep knowledge of computers and electronics, expert skills as a hacker, and graduate training in, you guessed it, library sciences. Still don't know what that means. One night she has a dream in which an all-knowing woman has her own face, and she then adopts Oracle as her code name. Outstanding. She serves as an information broker, gathering and disseminating information to law enforcement organizations and members of the superhero community, a superhero hub, if you will. She trains under the tutelage of Richard Dragon, one of DC's premier martial artists, to engage in combat using eskrima from her wheelchair. That's pretty much the same weapon as Nightwing uses, the two sticks. She develops her upper body strength and targeting skills with both firearms and batarangs. The success of Chuck Dixon's Black Canary / Oracle Birds of Prey in 1996 led to the comic book series Birds of Prey, starring the two title characters. During Chuck Dixon's crossover series Nightwing Hunt for Oracle, Barbara Gordon and Dinah Lance meet in person and establish a long-term friendship. They form the nucleus of the Birds of Prey organization. While Oracle serves as their basic head of operations, Black Canary becomes her full-time employee and field agent. In 2000, the first Batgirl monthly comic was issued with Cassandra Cain as the title character. Oracle appears as a supporting character through the series, acting as a mentor to the new Batgirl alongside Batman. Gail Simon took over as the writer of Birds of Prey with issue 56. So yeah, that's kind of...
So that's what, 89 to... What year did you say that was, Sandra Cain? 2000, 2001?
Yeah.
It's a decade. That's a long time that the Batgirl... That's what I mean. That's a long time the Batgirl persona was retired, and as much as I still think Oracle was probably a better character, there's more money in Batgirl. That's a decade worth of comics not being made.
So yeah, I mean, you've got a new kind of Batgirl there who's getting her training, Cassandra Cain, during the kind of thing, obviously, wherever she went with that. During the 2004 crossover event, Batman War Games, Black Mask commandeers Oracle's computers and satellites and engages in a fight to death with Batman. In order to prevent Batman from killing his adversary, Oracle initiates a clock tower self-destruct sequence, provoking Batman to rescue her rather than continue the battle. This results in the destruction of Gordon's home and headquarters in the clock tower. Subsequently, Oracle decides to move on and leaves Gotham City altogether. She cuts her ties with Batman and, after a temporary world trip with her team, relocates to Metropolis.
Yeah, don't dig that.
in the events of Birds of Prey, Between Dark and Dawn, and The Battle Within, both in 2005, Oracle is possessed by arch-villain Brainiac, an artificial intelligence entity, in order to become a biological being. Although Oracle overpowers Brainiac and expels him from her body, the advanced virus delivered by him remains despite his absence. The virus steadily causes cybernetic attachments to sprout all over her body. Pretty much like Cable's shtick.
Kind of. Except his is like an organic thing, an organic virus. I suppose, yeah, it's not too dissimilar.
Yeah. Oracle develops supernatural abilities that allow her to psychically interact with computer information systems, although she loses this ability after the virus is rendered dormant following an operation by Dr. Midnight. You're not a fan of this writing, no?
No. Don't overcomplicate things.
Good news, she discovers she can move her toes. However, this proves to be short-lived. Gordon remains paralysed. During the company-wide crossover Infinite Crisis in 2005, Oracle teams up with Martian Manhunter in Metropolis to coordinate a counter-strike against the Secret Society's global jailbreak. The renewed romance between Barbara Gordon and Dick Grayson is also cut short by the Infinite Crisis. So, yeah, when the DC continuity jumps forward 1 year after the events of the Infinite Crisis, Oracle and her team continue to work in Metropolis. Oracle works with Batman, although not on a regular basis as before. Oracle continues to lead the Birds of Prey and expands the ranks of the operation in the Birds of Prey issue 99. Black Canary leaves the team and the Huntress becomes the team's de facto field leader, while Big Barda is brought in as the group's big hitter alongside a larger rotating roster. Oracle also makes an attempt to reforge her alliance with Batgirl. However, when Oracle invites her to rejoin the team, she replies that she will do so when Hell freezes over.
Oh.
So yeah, sad news for all the fans there. In the crossover event Countdown to Infinite Crisis in the year 2007, Oracle dispatches the Question, your favourite character, and Batwoman to capture the Trickster and Piper following their role in the murder of Bart Allen. She struggles to keep the identities of the world's heroes from being stolen and coordinates a response to a global crisis engineered by the Calculator, a villainous hacker and information broker, pretty much the antithesis of herself. In all new Booster Gold issue 5 in 2007, the title hero is given the mission of travelling back in time in order to prevent a tragedy that he discovers never should have happened: the Joker shooting and paralysing Barbara Gordon. Batgirl. Although Booster Gold makes several attempts to prevent the events which took place in Batman the Killing Joke, he ultimately fails, and Barbara Gordon's chronological history remains unchanged. Rip Hunter convinces him that Barbara's destiny is to become Oracle. Later, Batman reveals that he kept Joker's photo of Barbara and Booster Gold for years and waited until Booster Gold's created age before confronting him. Batman then thanks Booster Gold for trying to stop the Joker and offers him his friendship.
Batman don't do friends.
Well, apparently so.
Mm.
Yeah, so that's just one of them things. Apparently he does do friends. So yeah, she's featured in a kind of bunch of other stories leading up. So in terms of, in 2009 the Batgirl comic book was relaunched with Stephanie Brown starring as the titular character, so they kind of bring the Batgirl character back. Although Oracle initially tries to discourage Brown from crime fighting, she eventually comes to accept her as Batgirl. So yeah,
they kept trying Stephanie Brown. She was rolling for a while as well, and that didn't work either. I think she was vaguely popular, but it's just like I said, eventually there was always rumblings of, we gotta get Barbara back as Batgirl. The problem was undoing Oracle, which I imagine you're about to get to.
What, in DC Rebirth?
Yeah, I think it was a bit before
that. Well, in March 2006.
In New 52, wasn't it?
Yeah, the DC Rebirth Batgirl would remain as Barbara Gordon.
Yeah, so basically she magically got her back fixed and could walk again. It's not like the Killing Joke didn't happen. It still happened, but somehow now she can walk. And it's I just eventually, I suppose you have to make a decision. Is she more effective as a supporting character, or is she more effective as Batgirl? But Batgirl, of course, will always be in the shadow of Batman.
Yeah, well,
What do
that's
you
like
go with?
saying this. She's got to break off in the same respect that Nightwing and Robin broke off. All the Alfred, all of the Batman
Sure.
family.
Okay.
So yeah, that's the kind of brush in which she is tarred with, along with most of the other Batman supporting characters. Unless you're a villain, would you like to talk about her powers and abilities?
Yeah, she doesn't
To
have any.
to round this segment, I completely disagree with you
She
there.
has abilities, I'll give you that.
Martial artistry. According to the character's fictional biography, Barbara Gordon trained in judo, karate, and jiu-jitsu, earning black belts prior to her tenure as Batgirl, and is described as being a star athlete, whatever that means. Following the events of the Killing Joke, Barbara Gordon continued to train in martial arts as Oracle despite being paralysed from the waist down. She has extensive skills with eskrima, fighting sticks, small firearms, and batarangs. She customarily keeps a pair of eskrima sticks stored in the armrest of her wheelchair as a contingency. In the revised continuity of the New 52, she reflects on the fact that she has been taking self-defense training since the age of 6 in Batgirl issue 0, 2012. In terms of intellectual and technological skills, Gordon is written as having an ingenious level intellect, photographic memory. She's described as Gail Simon as the most intelligent member of the Batman family, and among all characters
Come on.
having operated out of Gotham City. Well, take it up with her, not me. You know what I mean? I'm just a champion of facts. Prior to the career as a vigilante, Barbara Gordon developed many technological skills, including vast knowledge of computers and electronics. Um, like Batman, Barbara Gordon originally used a wide variety of computer electronics and gadgets during her early adventures of Batgirl. These included an infrared scanner built into the cowl of her costume, various Bat-inspired weaponries, and the Batcycle. I didn't even know there was one.
Oh, yeah.
According to Gail Simon, this one likes to make claims. Oracle maintains control over 12 technologically advanced satellites that were created by Lex Luthor during his tenure as the President of the United States. That's not such an outstanding claim, as opposed to the last one. As Oracle, Barbara Gordon placed her considerable skills and knowledge at the disposal of many DC heroes. She's a skilled hacker, capable of retrieving and dispersing information via private satellites, military installation, government files, and properties of Lex Luthor. Batman himself, a genius with a wide knowledge base and access to vast information resources, routinely consults Oracle for assistance. So really, without Oracle, Batman wouldn't be able to do his job, apparently. Is that
Yeah,
something you
except for,
agree with?
the first, 45 years of the character's history, but don't worry about it.
Yeah. So that pretty much wraps it up. So the moral of that story is, if Batgirl didn't exist, there'd be no Batman. That's the conclusion I drew. Is that something you'd agree with?
For the purposes of this superhero file, yes.
Okay, so that is literally everything you need to know about Batgirl / Barbara Gordon. Yeah, some would say it's too much information, but for us, it's the tip of the
No,
iceberg.
we definitely needed a lot of Booster Gold stuff.
I'm Sam.
I'm Matt.
Hey, it just lends backstories, and you know this is the superhero Holla Hub. We'll see you when we are closing the files, and we'll see you
Oh
in
my
the next.
god.
See you in the next one. Bye.
You have to drag this crap out, don't you? Just click away.
I'm showing love.